Ode mabiko umunne m ndị Imo eji m obi mgbawa na obi mwute na agwa unu that mbọ niile anyị na-agba to make Imo State safe. Some people na-ekponye aja na agari. Na-ekponyere anyị aja na agari. In all our efforts, especially n'ihe gbasara ndị one chance na ndị organ harvesters in that. I will give you a voice note. A voice note from a council. Somebody gidie onye organ harvester egidere pam confess re na onye organ harvester egidere poga na civil defense poga na civil defense, you know, civil defense where they got to release that person. Civil defense commandant Imo State and where they got he release that person. He release onye organ harvester Johnny a confess ya egidere pakam Imo State here. Let me play the voice. You want a whim because where you work here. Where you work here. Let me play the voice note first.
Today. My clients, the organ harvesters, Buriana na Okigwe Road. With one white bus on our lodge, Ebria. The young man Ebria or now Gaffin Su Junction. Where we are no le motabo ani or Funkeni ani uno Funkenian as none done a hand there over to that now in the organ harvesters and no cook we no, onye be the girl I wear now onye Ebonyi State. Or do a burn Ebonyi State here. Assemble na ya onye Ebonyi State. Okay, bully 1 year wine. I am no noga ton or buachi bo buteria. So also the motor run a aboga uko oja. Back to town. The vehicle can near as a ton of one. But why an phone say I help hope a ton or go on and banankia a son, I can 1 year when Oga a quick habue. So now have power. Or say I don't worry. Or what again, Emily and Yaga be a barrier so that for Bola the people. The guys say Moria, why way more. Around 9, Mona Bari there after 10, yeah, Boreagawa, Lewanye Burud. A beside the tiger, Borea Babaga, somewhere they don't live. A bit more. Nareba, Boo of table, Toy, no Yipakwe. The galley Yipakwe. Yeah, repoya many times, up to 3 times. Repucha, Simon Abamoto called Pop Tianos. So, yeah, who they got pop their side, the Kenny Bunania Mafunia, and in here, Manacha, my charger, move. The guys after 1 week, yeah, Bachi, Namoto, hold that white, the same white boss. Osemba na ya you share that white boss. That man who that night. And the man who the man cranky, nki ezibonki. So we will watch the man apota na the motor going again my yaho nki tease no the man. Man na civil defense ya one man no another man no report. Na chaya here. Man about the civil defense, Barabia. Made the young man arrest. Bogiana civil defense. As in a civil defense, they get quicker than no warrior. And the funny thing, the charger they get Labra any memo. That white boss. How many chargers, many perfume wine, a lot of things I only made the motor. So the way the civil defense engineer handle the matter, you get joy. So one day they laid a day petition to State CID, to Commissioner of Police, and the Commissioner of Police may approve. So how could you wali have a shereko transfer the matter to from Tiger Base? So how was there no chicken Arabia? They brew the fire. The same evening, Mother Gialagabwa Ogaya. See, Oga Mata, I like notation, Megan Emerald Nachi, and the only daily petition, the police take over from Tiger Base. The man has sent Sobana. The same night, the man in order, I might get on at the man. Was on the beggar for the man since. The same night, in order, I release the man.
Yeah.
Release the man, release the motor.
Yeah.
The man Allah.
Evidence.
Chabana Juzi commander has said, why, some when they no, ya release you and mobile actually the young man. Na ya boda.
Hey.
Which hammer no one shall get boda. On na his go ha.
Oh, the man, I could have Puni in Imo State against the organ harvesters. Commandante, Civil Defense, Imo State here, Nanego. Release here. Only organ harvest age the evidence to prove. Charge that girl, I want an email to this organ harvester. And other chargers, and other perfumes, so my boy. Did you go to Henda Imo State? Commandant is Civil Defense again, Noro here. Don't so kwa na Jesus we kuinyo. Anyone on so kwa. But they cannot do their work.
To all of you, pending where you are watching or hearing my voice from this very wonderful Friday morning, being the 28th of March 2025. Biafrans, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you ahead that tomorrow will be the 4th month of our redeclaration. And I want to tell you what Philip Effiong said. If you do not treat Biafrans in a civilized manner and in a very friendly manner, our children will rise up to continue to fight you. And that is what has happened. So on the 29th of November, the game changer was that redeclaration by Dr. Madam Ngozi Orabweze. The Nigerian terrorist government has paid the people that they paid to discuttle and to come there to cause chaos on the 2nd day of December. But there was a decoy because our Prime Minister said Biafra redeclaration may happen. Biafra recognition or redeclaration may happen before the 2nd of December. So they have planned what is going to happen because the Nigerian terrorist government has paid the people who are on social media now doing fighting our DPM, doing back and forth, trying to drag us back. So they have already been paid, which we know. And to my greatest surprise, on the 2nd day of that December, do you know that the Finland police came into that arena? Because they had already planned what would happen. But because there was no destruction, because there was no quarrels or misunderstanding with anybody, they had to leave. Who called them? What happened? Because Nigeria is a terrible country. They will continue to fight until they get what they want. But we have always been 10 steps ahead of them. Number one, I told you what Philip Effiong said. If you do not treat these people right, our children will rise to continue to fight you. And that is what we are doing today. Remember, that is what we have done today to redeclare Biafra on the 2nd day of November, sorry, on the 29th of November, 2024. So my point is, if Tinubu likes, let him continue to pretend that nothing has happened. You know, I came here to tell you about the 60 days countdown. It's going to happen in a very mysterious way. Tinubu is a ruthless man, a ruthless politician, and we have all seen that. Now, I want to ask Nigerians, what have you benefited from this government? What have you gained from this government, if not hunger, killings, violence, and overthrow of government? This is what Tinubu is known for. The same Tinubu that went to fight Niger when Niger had their coup, wanted to, attempted to, and he was warned not to come and fight, because if they do, or if he does, Nigeria will never remain the same. Is now the same man who went to River State to overthrow the government there. Or do you people not know that what Tinubu did in River State was an overthrow of government? What constitutional rights gave him the power to remove a sitting governor? Tinubu has no power to sack a sitting governor, despite the fact I don't even like the governor himself, because he's too quiet and he's, he came through the back door. All of them came through. That's why they cannot stand to defend their mandates, according to them. But we, Biafrans, we will stand and fight for this, our mandate that we've gotten on the 29th of November 2024. We will stand and defend it. Everybody today is turning a deaf ear, a blind eye to that redeclaration. But the consciousness, we will make them to know that something happened on that date. And that is why we are here. That is why, since the removal of our Prime Minister, we've been here all through. And we're going to fight this fight to the end. Believe you me. So for those of my friend who is telling me I'm putting my life in danger, I want you to know that if people don't die for the cause that they're fighting for, they might probably not get it. So some things has to be destroyed and some has to be rebuilt. And our past heroes have done so.
All right, you've actually heard it from the horse's mouth. A lot is happening in Biafraland, and just as Nonsonkwa said in that video, you can see the kind of atrocity that the NSCDC, and these so-called police and army are causing in Biafraland. That is why the Prime Minister Simon Ekpan Njoko advocated, he advocated for the total removal of these people, in Biafraland. Yes, and that is also something that we need to continue to do. We need to continue to speak for the total removal of these guys, in Biafraland. Now let us go to a news that is just coming in, to us. Tension rise as the indigenous people of Biafra warns of retaliatory attack against Igbos in the north. We all know what is happening, what happened at Uromu community, where the Edo people buyed a lot of herdsmen. Now the northerners have started retaliating. And do you know the funniest thing? The Igbos are the ones who are suffering this retaliation. That is why this is one of the reasons why Biafrans needs to leave this so-called contraption called Nigeria, because Igbos will continue to be more like collateral damage in this so-called contraption called Nigeria. Now let us go straight up to this one. The indigenous people of Biafra IPOB has called on Igbos to prepare for self-defense following the buying of northern hunters in Uromi, Edo State. IPOB spokesman Ima Powerful alleged that certain Arewa groups are inciting violence against Ndibo and Christians in the north in retaliation for the incident. He also warned the Hausa community against fueling ethnic tension that could lead to further unrest. The group emphasized that it would not tolerate any attacks on its people and urged Igbos to remain vigilant. In a statement by Emma Powerful, he had it this way: the indigenous people of Biafra seeks to alert Arewa group in northern Nigeria, highlighting that its leader and certain individuals are inciting violent assault on the Igbos and Christians. They must halt their intended assault immediately. We have learned that they have organized attacks against Ndibo in the north due to the buying of the alleged Hausa hunters in Edo State. Yeah, that is that on that issue. So Ndibo, at this point in time, we all need to be very careful with these people. This is why, leaving this contraption called the Zoological Republic of Nigeria is a must, and that is why we must continue to work together and fight together, for the freedom of our people, because that is the only way, we can be free from these people. That is the only way. So Biafrans, we will continue to fight for the freedom of our people. But meanwhile, let me play a very, very important information for every Biafran. So wherever you are, make sure you share these particular videos to as many Biafrans as possible, because they need to know, the times that we are in. They need to know, all the issues trending and happening in Biafran territory. Enjoy this one.
Thank you so much. Thank you, FAMD, our able Secretary of Finance. Thank you so very much for that wonderful opening speech for this special event. Welcome, Biafrans. Welcome to this special fundraising that we do today for humanitarian purposes, to make the world a better place, to make our people a better people. Thank you so much, Biafrans, as we do this every week to raise the funds we need to rebuild our devastated region, the Biafra nation, as we exit from Nigeria. I thank everyone. I want to use this opportunity to recognize and thank our Prime Minister, His Excellency Simon Ekpa, who is still being questioned by Finland, questioned about his role in what we are doing now, his role as our leader, his role to stop the killings of the Nigeria state, his role of stopping and working to stop the reintegrated terrorists hired by the Nigerian state to continue to kill indigenous Nigerians, Christians, and innocent Biafrans. That is the role our Prime Minister has played. And that is why Finland is questioning him today. Nothing more, nothing less. His role to bring about the full declaration of the independent state of Biafra, which we did in Finland. Today marks the 4-month anniversary of the United States of Biafra, which was declared in Finland on November 29th, 2024. All thanks to our Prime Minister, His Excellency Simon Ekpa. All thanks to our leader, Onyendu Nnamdi Kanu, for championing the cause to ensure and to state clearly to the world that there is no way the world will be a better place when the Biafra region continues to stay in a state of Nigeria that rehabilitates and reintegrates non-terrorists like Boko Haram, ISWAP, ISIS into the community. Give them AK-47 to chase away the communities the indigenous communities that are all scattered in different IDP camps in Nigeria today. And now they are coming over to the Biafra territory. And we said, no, we are not going to allow that. Thank you, our Onyendu, for standing strong, for standing tall, and letting the world know the independence of the sovereign state of the United States of Biafra is a task that the people have already decided. Nobody can stop that. It is our right. The right to self-determination is granted. The right to self-defense is granted by the United Nations, by America, by Finland, by all the international human rights organizations. When they put their signatures as a country, as an organization, to maintain the integrity, the right to self-defense, the right to self-determination of other countries, they append their signatures to these documents. That is exactly what we are doing. Everyone here. And 50 million Biafrans that have voted through a self-referendum to exit the enclave called Nigeria. We have done that. 50 million Biafrans voted to exit Nigeria through our self-referendum conducted both online and physically in our homeland, in Biafraland. We have collectively voted to exit Nigeria. That was why we met in Finland between November 29th and December the 2nd. Over 1,500 Biafrans from all over the world, we gathered in Finland to declare our independence from the Nigerian state. As I speak today, the United States of Biafra is a sovereign and independent state. Just as Mark Rubin has said, Honorable Rubin, the previous speaker we watched, has said that any Nigeria security, any Nigerian apparatus today in Biafra land is occupying a foreign state. There are no two ways about it. It is the collective wish of the people who has decided. Remember, Biafra was a nation between 1967 and 1970. And we fought a brutal war with Nigeria. At the end of that war in 1970, it was declared no victor, no vanquish. The reason our fathers and our grandfathers declared no victor, no vanquish was because it was expected that the Nigerian state will stop all the subjugation, all the intimidation, all the terrorism, all the marginalization that led to the war of 1967. They promised to do that. But what happened between 1967 and at this moment, nothing has changed. It has even gotten worse. Where Biafran Christians are murdered in their hundreds, in their thousands, buried in mass graves. Christians of indigenous Nigerian origin are murdered in southern Kaduna, in Zamfara state, in Borno state, in Biafraland. All the evidences are there. Any international body that says they've not seen those evidences, they are not truthful to themselves and they are not truthful to their countries. We Biafrans cannot continue to live in a country that continues to suppress and subjugate and destroy the lives of our people to the extent that an average Biafran today is begging to live in the Nigerian state. We are facing an existential threat to eliminate all Biafrans. Because of what? We just said, We do not want to cohabit with a country, with a president, with a defense chief, Christopher Musa, who approves the reintegration of non-terrorists into the community. And he thinks that the reintegrated terrorists will change. No country in the world, I'm yet to know any country in the world that reintegrates non-terrorists into their community and gave them power, gives them authority, gives them power to be in the police, in the army, in the security forces. What country does that? I know America does not do that. I believe Finland does not do that.
Wow.
I believe Israel does not do that. We are yet to see the country in the world that does that. That is why Nigeria is a failed state. It was predicted. It's been predicted on so many platforms. And that was why many international, multinational companies inside the Nigeria state have left. Because this failure, nobody can stop that. That is why we, as Biafrans, with our culture, with our ethnicity, with things that are peculiar to our living, peculiar to our people, we've decided to come together to make not just our lives better, but also to bring our people that are scattered all over the world, being the best in whatever profession they lay their hands on. We want to bring them together to our territory, to our land in Biafra, so that those services that we offer outside our motherland, those services we offer outside our shores, being the best doctors, the best nurse practitioners, the best lawyers, the best engineers, the best professionals, the best accountants all over the world, the best pastors, the best priests. We want to bring it to our people so that they can enjoy those services that we offer to other people. Our people have suffered where you have no health care, no standard health care, no education. Schools are closed, most times all year round. Because our people are scared of the reintegrated terrorists that were brought into the country by the Nigeria state, by Christopher Musa, who is the Nigerian defense chief. He supports this policy to reintegrate non-terrorists into the community, thinking, and he will tell you, just like he said, that the Lakarua terrorist group, he thought they were nice people. That was why he reintegrated them into the Nigerian state. Today, the mayhem being caused by this terrorist organization called Lakarua is spread across the whole Nigerian state, and they are infiltrating into the Biafra territory. And these are individuals that keep asking America for arms, asking Finland for arms, asking Europe, Britain, Israel for arms. They ask them for arms. And why do they ask for those arms? They tell them they want to use arms to fight terrorists. No, they are not fighting no terrorists. The Nigerian state is the terrorist itself. And any international country, any foreign country today that supports the Nigerian state and try to silence us and try to interfere with our freedom, the person, history will remember that individual and that country. That is what. And that is why we are doing what we do every weekend, to raise the little resources from Biafra scattered all over the world, to continue to help our people, to continue to build our nation, we have met all the criteria to build our nation. Our Declaration of Independence has been done. We have the power to establish a robust United States of Biafra that the whole world will be envious of. That is what we are doing. So any nation, any government that interferes with that does not mean well for the common man, does not mean well by making the world a better place. Our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, just for the same thing we are doing, was renditioned from Kenya. The Kenyan government collaborated with the Nigerian terrorist state to rendition our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, from Kenya to Nigeria, where he is being held today as we speak. Over 2-3 courts in Nigeria have told the Nigerian state to release Nnamdi Kanu and compensate him because he has not done anything wrong. The Nigerian state, Christopher Musa, the defense chief, refused. President Tinubu had refused to release Nnamdi Kanu. They're still holding him today. Because they think that when they hold our leader Nnamdi Kanu, Biafra will not come. Facilitating the contract they have with some European countries to continue to milk the oil reserves in the Biafra territory, using it to develop their own countries, while our people die in squalor, while our lands are being polluted, while nobody cares. Schools are closed on end because of pollution, because of the devastation the exploration of the oil has done in our land. And we said we cannot continue to live like that anymore. If you are a foreign nation and you want to explore, you want to exploit the resources in Biafraland, you need to pay the right money. You need to pay the right amount. You don't milk our resources by pennies and cents, which you used to build your country, while our people die in abject poverty. No standard hospital, no medical equipment, no railway, no international airport, no seaport, nothing. But you milk the oil in Biafraland to develop your own country. Is that fair? You want to be a part of that kind of system? We are the Nigerian state. All they care is the money you pay them up front to sell the oil in our Biafra territory for even where our generations unborn are going to be owing to your country, are be owing to the oils that you milk from our land. And you think that is fair? And you think you will stop what we are doing? Finland invited our Prime Minister Simon Ekberg just a week before our declaration. They are questioning him till date, almost 4 months. Finland, you know the story. You got your own independence, right? And you know the reason why you fought for your independence, just like America fought for their independence. There is a reason for that. There is a time for that. Now is the time for the full protection of the United States of Biafra. No individual can stop that. It is not about me. It's not about Prime Minister Simon Ekberg. Neither is it about our leader Nnamdi Kanu. It is about our people that said, no, this is the time to stop all the manipulations, all the destruction, all the exploitation of the Biafra people and the Biafra territory. I use this opportunity to recognize the Biafra